Everybody, welcome to Her Story. It's your host, Kimberly Pinkston. I've been absent for a minute, had some family things going on, but you know how that is. You know, you got to do what you got to do as a sister, okay? So, I'm back with a vengeance, and tonight I'm rolling solo. And the title of the show tonight is America, What the Fuck? Okay? Only way I can describe it. So y'all already know where we're heading, how I'm feeling about this, I'm vibing about this, because the shit's getting serious, okay? Period. I want to begin and talk about, well, y'all know it's time for all of us to step up and show out and vote like hell because we got all these crazy ass people that want to be in office. And if we don't vote, then we're going to be worse off than we've ever been before. So it's imperative that we step up and we go ahead and vote. We got to do what we got to do. We got to make it happen. And sometimes you get so tired as a black woman of being Sister Save a Hoe. You always got to have a cape on, be Superwoman, and here we go again. Black women saving America again. Like I said, America, what the fuck? Okay? So, I found this article on the internet that the sister had wrote, right? And let's see, what is her name, the sister? Her name is Maya Helm. Shout out to her. And she wrote a really interesting article about black women and voting and things of that nature. So I'm going to share some of that with you. And the title of her article is Black Women Are Not Your Savior. How apropos, considering every time that there is a crisis in America, some of the others work to tear it down. And once again, we got to come in and save it. Why? Everybody knows we're the largest voting bloc that there is. And that when sisters vote, change happens. And we be damned if we're going to let you take us back to where you want it to be because you have an inferiority complex about being white and being left behind, and you don't want your children to feel bad about critical race theory, and you just want it to be like it was in the 1950s. Child, I wasn't even born back then, so I don't know nothing about that. So the answer for me is no. We're not going back there. So anyway, I'm going to read a little excerpt from Maya Helm's article and what she says. And then, okay, before I even get started, y'all know this is only my opinion. This is not the law. This is just how I feel. And since it's my show, I can express my opinion. Okay, so here we go. She says, Black women are forward thinkers, offering some of the most inclusive and radical envisionings of American democracy. As Angela Davis said, Black women have had to understand white men, white women, and Black men, and having to have to understand themselves. This means we bear immense political power while simultaneously balancing an unfair amount of responsibility. Society automatically anticipates Black women to do the right thing so that no one else has to. Even more, Black women are seen as superheroes with the underlying expectation that we will always rescue white America from itself. That's a lie. Many perceive a Black woman's political pull and even her existence as an altruistic mission. However, saying Black women save America again is not the compliment that you think it is. Black women are not your caretakers. We are not your mammies. We are not your magical Negroes. While you take for granted our consistency and wait for us to save the day, we continue to be politically underrepresented, paid lower than our counterparts, and victims of massive racial disparities in healthcare. Our burden of collective salvation is precisely that, a burden, and does not come with any genuine respect, visibility, or inclusion. Your celebratory gestures are meaningless when Black women are never given anything in return for the labor that you feel entitled to receive. Black women are not your mules to be called upon when you need reliable backing for your mediocre political opinion or white liberal candidate, i.e., Joe Biden. The rise of Black women is the gain of American democracy. When you support, shield, and elect Black women instead of devaluing them to a hashtag, you combat the hollow appreciation and that could never repay us for the work we have to do to protect ourselves anyway. After all, even though Black women are a powerful political force because of our comprehensive understanding of society and intersectionality, we also have little choice but to counter the constant political attacks against our own humanity. Black women do not show up and show out for you. We do it because no one will do it for us, period. Nevertheless, our fight for justice ultimately benefits everyone, and it's past time to support and invest in us. Black women reliably vote, speak out, transform, redefine, develop, and lead despite our oppositions on all sides. So instead of extorting our labor and treating us like we're superhumans, be a vocal advocate for true political representation. Support, uplift, and vote for Black women. Donate to causes that protect and empower Black women. Volunteer for organizations that directly benefit the Black women. Help provide proper resources to Black female community organizers and activists. Because when Black women win, everyone wins. And she ends by saying, fancy that. Loved her article. Now, I read that to say that here we are once again in this same crazy political climate where we got to stand in line for 4-5 hours, especially if you're in Georgia. No water. Thank God the temperature has calmed down where it's not as hot, where we won't be passing out all over the place, to vote to make a difference. And with all this being said, we as Black women have a harder time getting a PPE loan, getting business funding, getting proper educational resources for our children. But once again, here you come to us to save America. Okay, we're okay that you put Kamala Harris in office. We understand that, and of course, if Joe, if you'd have put her on the ticket, that we were going to support that. We were going to push you over the edge. In addition to the fact that we had as much as we could take of Dum Dum Donnie being in office for all that time. And even having said that, mentioned Dum Dum Donnie, why is his ass not in jail? See, this is what I'm talking about. You want us to come out in droves and vote and make the world a better place for you. You want us to stand in line and you want us to stand up and march and say we're all against this and we're all for the Democrats, rah, 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 rah. But at the end of the day, I'm like Janet Jackson. What have you done for me lately? We appreciate the fact that you're trying to eliminate some student debt. But hell, our student debt costs more than anybody else's anyway. So you're knocking off $10,000 for us. Okay, thank you. But they charge for more for us to go to school than they charge for the whites to go to school. Why is that? And then you have the audacity to not even want to teach the true history in school. You're worried about the white children feeling uncomfortable about their history. But whose fault is that? Whose fault is that? And what about the little black and brown children? How are they supposed to feel when they know the truth? How are they supposed to feel about this? And once again, I say, you want us to stand up and vote and put y'all and keep y'all behinds in office. And we're still fighting for the same things that you promised us you were going to give us. I mean, literally, the only time that we see all of y'all, any of y'all, is when you want something. Is that any differently than some of the white folks treat us when they come around because they want something? Politicians, you all show up, try to get in the church and do everything that you can because you what? Need us to push you over the edge to vote. You couldn't pass the George Floyd Policing Act. Don't think we forgot about that, because we ain't cool with you killing our brothers by a long shot. We're just not happy with that. You know, police reform is kind of falling by the wayside. And Donald Trump is still free. Y'all know that this fool is a criminal element. So you've made it very clear to us that there are two sets of laws, one for the whites and one for the blacks and the people of color. Because y'all know if you would have found that stuff in our homes, we would still be in jail. We would still be in jail. And I can't even say that it's the money, because, you know, Michael Jackson had money. But y'all treated that brother like he lived in a one-bedroom apartment in the projects. So it can't be that. So this is what I'm saying. If we're going to do all of this, we demand equal justice under the law. When you served his ass a subpoena for having top secret documents in there, he's a regular ass citizen. You should have locked his ass up then. You know he still got the rest of the stuff. But no. The man is running around free and still reaping havoc. But you want us to vote and stand in line for 3 and 4 hours and vote. Not to mention the election deniers that you already have in place, that if they don't like the way that we voted, which they won't, that we're going to have to go through this same stuff all over again, because they're going to try to deny the vote, and you're going to give them the benefit of the doubt, and you're going to drag this through the court system while they're still running free, spreading the same lies. This is crazy. And anybody who lives in Georgia knows this is really, really crazy. Y'all done brought out, the whites done brought out Herschel Walker. Herschel Walker done listened to damn crazy ass little Don and thought and believes that his terroristic crazy ass needs to be a United States Senator. And this is truly an America what the fuck moment, okay? What? Okay, so I saw the debate with Herschel when he was talking about, crime and everything else and all this stuff. And even in the middle of the debate, y'all, because I'm here in Georgia, the fool pulled out a fake badge and said that he was a police. Now, if you read Herschel's story, his little book, and he talks about his journey of mental illness and yada, 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 and all this kind of stuff. If your abusive past had to do with mental illness, wouldn't you mention that in the book? I mean, for real, if you just, saved by grace, baby, you was saved by grace. When you mention that in the book. Little Herschel didn't mention that. He said nothing about that. I'm a little suspect of this whole thing. but you stalked a wife even years after she was your ex-wife. They had to move. You got 4 children. You only claim one. You paid for an abortion. And you want to be a U.S. Senator. Not to mention that you clearly state you have a dissociative personality disorder, which is the same thing as multiple personalities, y'all. And in the book, he said he had 12. And he said he's healed. But I've been doing my research on that, and the doctors are saying, like, you got to wait till all 12 of them people meld together. We don't know what Herschel this is that's standing up there. We don't know. Can we really afford that chance with him being in the Senate? He lies about everything. The man can't spell valedictorian, but he was the valedictorian of his class. Girl, I nearly passed out and died, okay? Can't spell valedictorian, can hardly formulate a sentence. And I usually don't come down on brothers to try to give them the benefit of the doubt, but this fool here just came out wrong. Held a gun to your wife's head, and then you say y'all best friends and y'all go out and eat together as couples. I don't know no sister, black, white, green, pink, with blue hair, who been abused by the ex-husband with a gun to her head, had to move 6 times, and she remarried with another man, and y'all are the happiest couples, and y'all dying together. Herschel, stop playing with us, okay? Stop playing with us. Perhaps that's the reason why you've been with the white girls, because the sisters, we was not putting up with that foolishness. Your ass would have been free long time ago, okay? But like I said, y'all, we got some serious issues here. And once again, we have to stand up and save America from itself. Because if we don't get out and vote, we are going to have all kind of issues going on. It's bad enough that all of a sudden the Republicans think that they're God and that women no longer have rights. This is like back in the 30s, 40s, and 50s when a woman was only good for the kitchen and the bedroom, and apparently they seem to think that. And I don't even think it's so much as that. I think that they have a problem with the modernity of women. The fact that we've advanced so much, you got a woman that's a vice president. If something happens to the president, she becomes president. Nancy Pelosi becomes the vice president. That just scares the shit out of them. Let's just keep it real. It just does. And I think that they think that we've advanced so much and so rapidly that we need to be kept in our place. I'm still trying to figure out what exactly does that mean. What does that mean when you say that you need to stay in your place? I mean, some of y'all act like because y'all were born with a penis that we got to choose if we wanted to come with one or not. We didn't. So we're here now. So you should embrace that. But if you think you're going to tell us what to do with our bodies, well, joke's on you. That ain't going to happen. And we're not going to allow y'all to set us back with the BS. Rapists, incest, running rampant and everything. And then you're telling us that we should just learn to love the baby. Seriously. I can't even wrap my mind around such foolishness. Where y'all sat together and came up with this. And then what is this new evangelical Christian movement? Now, don't get it twisted, everybody. Everybody that knows me knows that I am a firm believer in the Lord and I love Jesus Christ. Period. End of story. But I'm going to say this again. Satan know the Bible forward and backwards. He does. And everybody who says they are what they are not. Because when I heard the phrase from one of the Republicans said that they believed that God wanted America to be governed by white Christian nationalist. I'm like, okay, so what does that mean? You want to go back to slavery days where you're all in control and your ego is all bruised, and so now you need to try to control everybody else that doesn't look like you. I mean, America is in a bad state right now. Some people don't see it. Some people say, oh, no, it's going to get better. It's going to get better. Look, y'all mess around and let the Republicans get up there and do what they're going to do. We're going to have hearing after hearing after hearing on just ridiculousness. People with no plans, no progress for anybody except enriching themselves. And if you ain't a member of that family, you can pretty much kiss it goodbye. Now, at the end of the day, in all fairness, no matter what the whites have done throughout history, we were like Kendrick Lamar. We're going to be all right, because we're going to make our way. But at some point in time, for all that we do with standing in line and voting for y'all and pushing y'all over the edge, you owe us the rights for us to be truly free and equal citizens. And that's all I'm saying. America, what the fuck? When are you going to own up to your promises to the black people, to the indigenous people, to the women of America? Because we're the backbone, bottom line. I mean, you stole everything you could from somebody else and called it your own. It's time for you to give the shit back. You need to stop taking. We need some reciprocity for all this voting that these sisters are doing, standing in line for days and out here campaigning for y'all, and these grassroots activists out here calling and marching and talking to everybody and all over TV and everything. We need some reciprocity. You need to give something back. And we're sick of you inviting us to the White House to sit at the round table to make us feel like we're special, and then we leave out of there with high hopes and we don't end up with nothing. That is for the birds. So, America, what the fuck? You need to do better by us, period. Okay, y'all. That's my little 22-minute opinion and rant about the state of America today. I hope you've enjoyed it. Share this with some friends. And I'll be back next week with a guest. And we'll talk some more. See you soon on Her Story.